And now we've got generate P12 to enable the Firebase push notification system. Okay, so please make sure you set up Firebase for iOS. So obviously, if you are using this push notification system, then you will need to go through these sections here. Obviously, if you're not using them yet, I would still recommend that you go ahead and set this system up from the word go, just so you have everything in place ready for when you are wanting to sort of send push notifications from your app to the user. In this video, we're going to be covering the Firebase setup for your app. So this is where we're going to be able to deliver push notifications from your app. Okay, so at the moment, I'm logged into my Firebase account, and I'm also logged into my Zapable account. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add Firebase to the iOS app, and I need to do this, like I say, in Firebase before I do anything in my Zapable account. So from the sort of login screen, if you like, I'm going to click on add Firebase to app, and now I need to register the app here. So it's asking for my iOS bundle ID. Now, in order to find this, we need to go over to the Zapable setup, go into manage our apps, find the app that we want to add the push notification system to, and hover over these three dots here, and then go to upload iOS certificates. And then I need to scroll down through one of these. It's going to give me my bundle ID. There we go. So it's number 4. So I'm going to copy this one here and go back into the Firebase system and paste that option in. Now the other ones here, the app nickname is optional and the App Store ID also is optional, but I am going to add the app nickname in here, and then I'm going to click on register the app. Okay, so that is now going to give me the option to download my Google Service Info plist file. Okay, so I'm going to need those to add into my Firebase system. Okay, so I'm going to download that file. Okay, and that is going to save that to my system. So I'm just going to add this to my system with the rest of my files. So I'm going to drag that file into a folder with some other information that I've got for my Zapable app. So just bring that in there as well. Okay, so that's that one, and then I can click on next. Okay, and then this is the Firebase SDK, so you don't have to worry about these for the moment. So I'm going to click on next. Okay, again, and this is some other information as well. We don't need to worry about that. Click on next. So what we could do here now is skip this step because we still need to add something in our Zapable system. So I've skipped that setup, and now we have one app in our project. Now what we need to do is go into our app project and go to settings. Okay, and we're given some information here. We've got a project name, the project or public facing name, and we've got project ID and the web API key. Okay, and this is the details for this particular app that we've got here. We've also got the ability to download the plist file again from iOS. So what we need to do then is to go back into cloud messaging. So we can see we've got our server key here and our legacy server key here as well. So these are things that the Zapable system is going to need in order to communicate with the Firebase system. Now what we need to do in this section is, because I've already completed all the steps up to step 6 at this point, now we need to upload a file to the Zapable system. Okay. Now step 3 is to generate the P12. Now the way that you do this is you go to browse and you search for that file that you have already added from previous steps. Okay, and the file that you need is this APS one. So I'm going to copy the location of where my files are here, and I'm going to go in and add in this APS file here. Now you will have already downloaded this the same as I have, and you would have got that from one of the steps that you've already carried out to get that. Okay, so now that we've added that file there, we can click on upload. Okay, and that's uploaded our APS file. Now we can download the P12 file. Okay, so that's what we need to do in order to get that P12 file. So now that we've got that P12 certificate, I'm going to save that in the same location as these other files that we've got for my app. So I'm going to drag that over and keep that in with the other one. So what I need to do now is go back to the Zapable apps bit under Firebase, and then in here I need to scroll down to the APN certificates, and in here I need to upload my my production APN certificate, which is my P12 file. So I'm going to click on upload. I'm going to browse for my P12 file. There is the certificate that I have downloaded from Zapable, and now I can click on open. Now it's going to ask for the certificate password, and for me, if I go back to the settings here, your password is provided for you in the Zapable system. So I'm going to highlight that and copy. I'm going to go back into Firebase, and I'm going to paste that password in here, and then I can click on upload. Okay, so that has now uploaded my P12 certificate to the Firebase system. Now the final step with this is that we need to add in our server keys into the Zapable system. So if I go back to the Zapable system here, and go back to my app and go to edit my app, then I need to find the Firebase system, so I can add that to my app and go to edit the Firebase option. So now it's going to ask me for my JSON file, which is for Android, which we haven't done in this video, but we need to add the plist file for this one as well. Okay, so if I click on browse, I need to find the plist file. So there's my Google Services Info one, so I can add that. And then I need to find my legacy server key, so I can get that from my Firebase system. There's a little handy little button here which will copy it for me. I can paste that in here as well. I can also paste it under this side as well, because they will be the same for Android and iOS. We just need to create the JSON file there as well. So I'm going to click save for now. Okay, so we just need to get the Android JSON file as the next step. So I can go back to Zapable in my Firebase account. Let's go back to my project overview. If we add another app, and this time we want to add Firebase to Android. So again, we can click on that option here. We follow the same steps that we just followed a moment ago. So to get that option, we're going to go back to the dashboard. If I open that in the new window so I don't lose that page. So let me go to Manage Apps. And then I'm going to go to Upload iOS certificates from here. And I think it was under step 4. So there's my bundle ID. I'm going to click on Copy. And then I'm going to go back into Firebase, paste that text in. And for this one, again, I'm going to call it EM Academy. And this time I'm going to put an A dash Android in it. And I'm going to register this app. And then we've got the option to download our JSON file for Google. So I'm going to click on the download button. And that's downloaded that JSON file for us. So I can click on next. And next, and I'm going to click on skip this step because we don't have this all set up yet. So there's our JSON file. I'm just going to add that to the rest of the files I've downloaded. So I've got the Google Services one in place, and now I can go back to the Zapable options and go to browse for the Android file, and there's my Google Services JSON file. I can click on open. And that has added that file there for me, and now I can click on save. So we have both our files as needed, and this is confirmed by these two green message boxes either side of the browse button here as well. So file present, and we've got both the legacy keys matched in these two boxes here. Okay, so just make sure we hit save, and finally I always do this is to update and preview, and let's make sure that this information stays on that particular page. So give that a moment. Okay, so that seems to have stayed perfectly fine. So now we need to go to validate the certificates and click on generate app. Okay, so what that's going to do now is it's going to create the app sort of in the background. This isn't immediate, it does take a little bit of time, but it's usually very, very quick to do that. And when you can see that there's a little sort of set of rounded arrows here, that is saying that the app is in the generation status at the moment. Okay, so once that's done, we'll be able to submit that sort of via this system. Okay, so I'll bring this video to a close now. We've completed those steps, we've generated the app, and the next part of the process then will be to upload this to the App Store. Okay, so I'll see you in that next video.